Hello and welcome to Down to Earth Convos Down Under, episode 3. In this episode, we're talking about the importance of work, current job opportunities, and why it's important to make money by creating value rather than sitting around and accepting free money.
Hey Brad, how are you over there in Perth, WA, Western Australia?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day. Got a lot planned for later on. How are things going for you over in the Sunshine Coast on the East Coast?
Well, we're going really fine over here because we have had the hottest week. It's been in high 30s, mid 30s, I should say, which is very hot for here. And we have got torrential rain today. So it's very, very beautiful. Things are going well here.
Exactly the same here. High to mid 30s all week.
Wow, that's hot. And we're going to lead into our conversation. We're going to touch on that today, aren't we, about those hot temperatures. And you want to let everyone know what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, today we want to talk about the major traits, or one major trait, in fact, of the financially successful. So, Ali, what, in your opinion, is a major trait that you've noticed and that others have noticed among the financially successful?
Great question. So in my experience and with my studies of studying the successful, financially successful, one common trait is that they earned income as a young teenager. Warren Buffett, number one most successful investor, undeniably, in the world, he had multiple jobs before the age of 16. I remember even reading that he collected golf balls. So this is very important. This is what I want to share today for our viewers and our listeners. Any parents out there, any teenagers listening, it is most important that we get out and start earning income, because the best way to value money is to actually earn it. And that's what I've learned through my own journey and through sharing that with my own children. And in Australia, we are currently experiencing what sort of crisis? You know what it is. What would you call this situation that we're experiencing? We shared earlier what's going on the Sunshine Coast. How would you put that?
I'd say monetary shenanigans is the crisis. People can get something for nothing, and that's just not good at all for work ethic. It's not good for learning the value of a dollar. It's not good for people building their own self-confidence and their own ability to create value. It's just all messed up, Ali.
Oh, it certainly is. As you know, I've got a trade nursery on the Sunshine Coast, and I'm speaking with business owners, employers every day, from landscapers to other nurseries, and they are struggling to get people working for them. And one landscaper just said the other day that he had two no-shows. Two of his employees didn't even bother to turn up. And normally, in normal situations, we would give them, a first warning, second warning, or we just wouldn't get them back because that work ethic is lacking. But we are at a catch-22 because the situation on the Sunshine Coast is the employers are actually working more than they would ordinarily. And that is, as an entrepreneur, we work the hours, it is common that we don't mind, we're not scared of work, and we enjoy what we do, but we definitely need help from our youth and from everyone in our community. We need employees to help us produce goods and services for our community in the world. And just one thing that I've noticed, so on the Sunshine Coast, we're coming into our summer, into peak season, and we have the most beautiful beaches, the most beautiful place. You know it well, don't you, Brad? We have lovely cafes and restaurants.
Heaven on earth.
Heaven on earth, absolutely. One of the restaurants that I know very well, I speak to the owner of this particular restaurant and the managers. They have struggled all year trying to find people to work since our government's been issuing the free money. Now, I know that some people out there are legitimately looking for work and they need the money. But where our conversation is going to lead today, Brad, is what about those who have opportunities to actually get out of the lounge room, lying around like a lizard, so to speak, and get out there and learn new skills, meet people, earn money, understand the value of money by earning it, and upskilling the Australian workforce, which is a little bit of a worry for me right now with the way I see looking to the future. Something's going to have to change. What do you think?
I completely agree. I know people who have turned down permanent jobs, casual jobs, one-off jobs that come up. There was recently $25 an hour, 5 hours, $125 to wash dishes at a restaurant. Easy, doesn't need any skills, easy money, in my opinion. And people are turning it down. Fruit picking, farmers need people to go and pick the fruit, vegetables that they're growing, or all the crops are going to go to waste. And with all this free money, people are like, well, you know what? It's actually not worth it to go and work when you can sit around, lounge around like a lizard. We've said that before, and just get paid. So there's a lot of corruption, I think, of the human spirit going on because people aren't working for their money; they're just getting it, and that's not good. People need to understand the value of a dollar so that they can be wise when they invest or spend or save or do whatever they choose to do with that money. What do you think, Ali?
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. I just had a conversation with a lovely couple that manage holiday units, and Sunshine Coast at the moment has been hit really hard now that the borders are open, and it's great. We're excited about having welcoming our interstate and overseas visitors into the beautiful Sunshine Coast. This particular couple are paying $16, Brad, more than the award wage for cleaners. That equates to $36 an hour.
Wow.
That is unbelievable money for a fairly unskilled profession like cleaners. They're very sought after. Guess what? They cannot get people to clean their apartments in the turnaround time. They can't physically do it because there's not enough hours in the day to do the flip around for the demand, because the demand for units is so high. And I think that's unbelievable, especially when I reflect back into when I was starting out working on university holidays. I earned as little as $4 an hour when I started off as a young teenager. These kids don't realise, well, some of them do, that there's great opportunities out there to earn some quite decent money if they could upskill and learn something like cleaning a property well. And then they could start earning, saving, and then earning the right to invest. We're going to get onto that subject in a later podcast, won't we? But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's hard because the incentives are don't work, sit around and collect your check. It's about having the integrity and the quality of character to, I think, rise above that and to realize that if you do sit around and accept free money, money for nothing, then that is lowering your value, lowering your skill set, and lowering your ability to create value and make money in the future, because you're not taking on opportunities to build your skills, build your work history, and be a productive human being. And I think that's very sad to be in that situation, especially over a longer term. You know, in a short term, yeah, maybe you do deserve a break and some time off. Maybe you don't. It
Yeah.
really depends. I think you mentioned something about restaurants that are really feeling the brunt of this. Could you share what you've seen with that?
Yeah, that's right. Well, the one of the beautiful restaurants in Hastings Street, which is the beautiful Cosmopolitan Street in Noosa Heads, they've actually struggled on and off all year to find employees to work. And they've actually had to, by not their own choice really, they've had to close. They want to ideally open 7 days a week and embrace this time, our peak season coming up, but they have to have closed. And then that makes other restaurants busier. It's just like this vicious cycle. So I just hope that we can get this message out to the world and to the government in particular. I believe that where the incentives should be going to, it should be to businesses. And I don't want to sound like it's all about me being a business owner, but if we could get help with upskilling our workforce, instead of giving it directly to job seekers that aren't actually really learning, they're not actually physically looking for a job. They're not seeking a job.
No.
They're having a lovely paid holiday. And if they don't deserve it, they won't value it and the money will just leave them. And I don't know what sort of mentality or attitude we're teaching, whether they're youth or millennials or even people the Gen Xers of the world. I just don't think that's the right way to go.
Well, no, it gets people in the entitlement mindset of, yeah, I deserve this free money. I get it. It's free. It's great. This is awesome. But it's really not awesome, because you're robbing yourself of your contribution to the world in what you can offer, in your talents, in the skills that maybe you haven't developed them yet, but if you applied yourself, you can actually produce and create things that move humanity or some segment of humanity forward, while everyone's just sitting around collecting checks and not actually producing. Our living standards and our societal, the things that we've come to see as like a standard of living, they're going to flatline and start to decline, because we need to be contributing and growing as value producers. At the end of the day, if we're not producing things and services, where can value come from? Where does money come from? It's not just printed up. It needs to come out of a value exchange where both parties walk away happier and, winners in the trade. And so if you have people that are just collecting money from the government, their capacity to create value in future is being hampered. And this is happening right across the whole of the social sphere, across all ages, across all industries. And I don't like where that's going to end up.
That's true. I don't think well said, Brad. I don't think the average person, or look, I don't want to offend anyone, but this free money, it seems like it's a great thing. The government worldwide, globally printing trillions of dollars, but that will come at a cost. And the cost will be, it causes inflation. And I'd love our listeners to take their own little survey of going through even a supermarket and start surveying, like do your own study and research on how much you'll see the prices of food increase over from now, and it already has been happening. It's called inflation, and it's a hidden tax. It's the way the government will be getting their money back, because there's always a consequence. So free money is at a cost. And the cost is that we might be robbing our fellow Australians of all ages, of all genders, both genders, from the right to earn and value themselves and have independency rather than dependency. We want to empower, not have entitlement. So I would just love to awaken Australia and humanity to that. It's tempting to get the free money, but it comes at a cost.
It comes at
we do have a, yeah, it'll be tremendous. And getting back to the producing, that's called gross domestic product. If we're not producing goods and services, we are not growing. And 2 negative quarters of negative GDP is called a recession. And if we don't wake up as Australians and start producing and getting people away from their couches and their devices and get out and contribute, as a word that you use, Brad, contribute to your beautiful country. Let's pay it forward. Let's learn new skills. Let's share your gifts and talents with the world, because the world needs every single one of us. Let's forget the free money. Let's just change the whole mentality and the attitude. And it all starts with, as a parent, I have to pass this on to my children. I don't want to raise entitled kids. And I'm not bagging parents, and I'm not really wanting to bag the government either. I just know that everything is a choice. And we've all had a choice. So there's the free money, or get off your backside and choose your first top 3 jobs where you'd love to work if you're young, to find out new skills, to find out what this industry is all about. Because right now here on the Sunshine Coast, speaking from experiences, there are job opportunities. For those who are looking, for those who are persistent, will find work here. So that's a good thing. I don't want them to lose this opportunity.
Absolutely. There are plenty of opportunities out there, because there are so many people that aren't taking them. And this gives a great deal of opportunity for people who are a little bit, just have the tiniest amount of ambition and desire to, be a productive member of society, because there's so many people that aren't competing for jobs right now that if you apply yourself, you're going to stand out and be so far ahead of those people who are sitting around doing nothing at the moment, being unproductive and not growing their skills, and
not growing.
No, not at all.
not growing in self-worth, not growing in net worth, and
And
they're a
that's the
direct
thing
reflection
too.
of each other.
You can't, well, I don't believe that you can respect yourself and be completely okay with just accepting free money, because deep down that comes at a cost of knowing that it's wrong. It's wrong to accept something for nothing. And there's a great deal of um, inner meaning and satisfaction that comes with earning money honestly and genuinely through work, through production, through helping businesses grow. And you mentioned earlier, you know, there's all these reasons to help do the right thing for your country, but you can look at it from a purely selfish point as well. It can just be for you, for the income that you're getting for yourself through an honest means that's getting your skills up and your experience up to put you in a better position in future. You don't have to look at it with a humanitarian or social lens. You can just look at it from pure self-interest.
Very true. And you have to look up, we're getting onto another subject there, but yeah, let's think of yourself first. Why wouldn't you want to grow as much as you can? And it's nice to pick your top 3 places where you would like to find work, and maybe not be too choosy. So I know through the teenagers, the young teenagers that are really starting out, there is, as you say, there's more jobs available now because a few of them are choosing. The ones that are uh, eligible for the entitlements, the young kids that are on holidays right now, university students possibly, they may not be entitled, which has left that opening, that opportunity that you talk about, Brad, for them to step in. Now, I know it's a little bit scary for them, but where you step outside your comfort zone is where the greatest growth is. So I encourage young teens that are listening to us today, or their parents, just gradually step outside your comfort zone, and that's where the greatest learning is. And oh my goodness, it's just going to be so exciting to find out what they will learn, and they're just stepping stones to move on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit off topic, but I would say when you're thinking about where you want to work and what you want to do, especially when you're getting started, Isaac Morehouse of Praxis and Crash has said this: it's don't do stuff you hate. So find out the things that you really don't want to do and don't do those, but be open to anything and everything else. I think that is a great philosophy when you're starting out, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you really like or really hate in a lot of cases. So go and get experience, go and find out. And if you find out you hate something, put that on the hate list and don't do that again. But there are so many different industries, different spheres, different roles within companies. There's a wealth of opportunity out there. There really is.
That's a great point. Great tip. Because when you cross off the list what you don't want to do, that is assertiveness. And then you can put that time and energy into focusing on an industry or a particular area that you are interested in. And that is a great attitude to have, Brad. I just picked up on enormous opportunities. That's where we need to, put all the negativity aside and know that let's make the most of now. Because right now in Australia, in Perth, Western Australia, on the Sunshine Coast, Queensland, and even in Victoria, Melbourne, and New South Wales, everything's going quite fine right now. And that's what it's really important that we pass this on to our kids. But, we don't want to wrap them in cotton wool. Let's just encourage them to step outside their comfort zone and take advantages of some opportunities where they're going to learn and grow, earn money, value time.
Yeah, it's really about understanding the value of earning $1 in an honest and real way. I think that is the key, because when you do that, right, you spend, you invest, and you save, you choose what you do with your money so much better than if it comes free. If it comes free and easy, then you'll blow it on silly nonsense or less productively than you would if you earned it and thought really hard about how you're going to spend or allocate that resource that you have.
Couldn't agree with you more on that. Absolutely. You've nailed that point. And I think the takeaway for me is right at the moment, we have choice, there are opportunities, and we need to encourage, because we're all about teaching lessons that they may not learn in school. So the parent is one of the most influential teachers in a child's life. I will just really, really believe that strongly. So this work ethic has to be handed down from the parents, because I know from my experience that the teachers call on me to talk about work ethic in the school. So this is where I'm at, because employing youth and millennials and every walk of life over the last 30 years, I know that us Australians, we are a little bit lacking, that's an understatement, in work ethic. And I see that's my big concern for right now with what the government's doing with the free handouts. The employers are asking, please, can you turn that financial tap down, because we need to produce. Let's raise the GDP. Let's raise the skills of the unskilled workforce in Australia so we can get through these times. That is just, do you agree with
Absolutely.
that? Thumbs up to
It's
that.
short-term thinking versus long-term thinking. It's everything for the short term at the expense of the long term. So I think on the key takeaway for me, pretty similar. It's around that entitlement versus value creation mentality. And people who have the value creation mindset are going to value what they earn and create more of it. See, the people who are entitled and envious and don't see themselves as capable of making money and don't build a habit of making money through work, they aren't going to make money. And so that's not really the key takeaway. That's kind of obvious, right? But my takeaway is the less obvious, but far more important knowledge that you choose your thoughts and your actions, and you choose to value money and work and being a productive person, or you can choose to kneecap yourself in your future by being lazy and not putting any work in. So these people think that they're getting something for nothing, but when they take pay, when they haven't earned it, they really rob the world of their talents and their skills that they're not putting to work. They rob their future selves of the rewards that would have compounded if they'd been working through this period and into the future, as they build up their skills. And they erode the purchasing power of the dollar, as you said, as they print more and devalue it. And I get that the government has shut down people from working with their own nonsense, and that's part of the problem too. But now that things have opened back up, people have still got those free checks coming in, and they're like, nope, I don't want to work. That's not good. That's not a good attitude. What employer would want to hire someone like that? That's not being a person of a quality character. And I think character is probably the most important thing that you have. And if your values aren't upstanding, then really that's going to affect the way you think about yourself, and that's going to lead down a pretty dark path for a large number of people, sadly.
That is well said too there, Brad. You brought up a couple of interesting things. Because back in the day where we did get paid in cash or a check, if it was me getting free money, I probably wouldn't cash the check, but because that's how strongly I believe, because the principle of money is about fair exchange. You produce a goods or a service in exchange for whatever. It could be goods and services back, or it could be money. So that just goes against that underlying principle of that money is a fair exchange. And then if people get the free money, as you said earlier, it will leave them. And then that doesn't build their self-worth. And getting back to another comment you made, Brad, this is where I'm chatting to a lot of other entrepreneurs and employers in my vicinity, is that when it does come to them turning that financial tap down, I want to let people know that you need to get out there and chase the jobs now, because if you wait until it's where they turn the tap down, it's like, you know what? It's about integrity and character. I want to employ someone on my business that aligned with our values, and which is valuing self and doing something you're passionate about and wrapping meaning and purpose around what that is. I don't really necessarily want to entertain the idea of someone that's just had a very long, free, unpaid, maybe not deserved holiday of the money from the government. Do you know what I mean? So, but I just do want to remind people that I have empathy for those who were forced into a lockdown situation where their businesses are closed down, where they've had to lay off their staff, or particularly in Melbourne where I was brought up, I have listened to many talkback shows where there's people that really want to work and there were no jobs. So I have definitely got empathy and compassion to all those sorts of people. I just want to put it out there that things are, opening up. The sun's bright and shiny, and I've got rain where I need right now because it's been very hot here. There's opportunity and it's choice. And I just want to encourage parents, millennials, teenagers, everyone, just to make that choice to learn new skills. Choose empowerment over entitlement. if you get that opportunity, step outside your comfort zone. That's where the greatest learning will be. And when you learn, your self-worth goes up. And when you earn, that's a reflection of your self-worth always as well. So we need to upskill and ride what's coming. And we need to produce goods and services in Australia to be able to survive what's here now and what we don't know is coming.
Absolutely. Choose empowerment, not entitlement. Well, thanks everyone. I hope you learned something new and interesting today. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.
Bye for now.